Hello, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. I'm going to be entirely honest. I meant to start recording this an hour, like half an hour ago, but I just got stuck on. This has been a persistent problem for me the entire day. Is that I just get stuck reading Reddit when I'm supposed to be doing something else. But I don't know how much I get done today because I don't know how long this day is. But the sky was still pale gray. Was it dawn or dusk? It's hard to tell. A vast sky overhead and a wide field stretching out on all sides. The sky seemed close enough to touch. Clouds low enough to grab hold of. This is one of the battlefields she fought on. But there was no longer any cavalry or no service. The sprawling golden meadow was gone. Instead, unfolding under the dull sky was the remnant of a battlefield. No emotion. She must have seen this kind of thing almost daily. Her desolate heart was empty. As she leaned against the golden sword, she exhaled deeply, let her shoulders relax. The battle must have ended. And after glancing over the bodies of her defeated soldiers, she returned to her camp. Those were the battles she experienced. Her cold, calm demeanor remained unchanged. Well, no matter the predicament she's been in, she remained just like the woman I've always known. And then I see the dream of a king. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord, became a king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur and Artoria. The life of a girl who once aspired to be a knight changed radically. By the way, I'm using that name because it's her actual canon name, no matter what Nasu says. In fact, there is a mod for this game, and I meant to download it, but I didn't. That actually does go into the text files to actually, replace the name, because that's... There is actually a mod. I'll get it later. I will definitely have it by the next episode. She acted like she was the king's son. The ruler of territories and knights had to be a male. Only her father, the mage, knew the king was a female. She covered herself in eye and hid the truth for the rest of her life. There were those who had their suspicions, but the king knights who wielded the sacred sword knew neither injury nor age. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. As such, nobody questioned her tiny frame, which was much too small for a knight, or her face, which may have appeared girlish. Instead, she was hailed as a truly beautiful king. And in fact, the king was invincible. Neither size nor appearance mattered. Those who lived in fear of the savage invaders desired a strong king, and the valiant knights would follow only a truly superior leader. The king satisfied each of these conditions, and so nobody questioned the king's identity. It did not matter if the king was a child or a woman. All that mattered was that the king protected the nation. The new king was fair and selfless, and always stood on the front line, fighting and defeating nation's enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and citizens died, but the king was always just, and she played her role as king better than anyone else. There was no room to suspect otherwise, and any such suspicions would be pointless while the king was right in any case. She knew no defeat on the battlefield. Her army reformed the lost cavalry, then charged across the battlefield, defeating foreign infantry and smashing through their defenses. Then she always stand on the front lines because her nation was behind her. Before she headed out to battle, she had to cast aside so many citizens. Once she was on the battlefield, she had to cut down all her enemies. As her battles were fought in defense of her own nation, it was common to ring villages to try to support the army. In that time, Snow Knight killed as many as she did. I can't tell if she ever felt that burden. It's not something I can really know from a dream, but I do know she didn't have a moment's doubt or hesitation on the battlefield. Grief never touched her thoughts when she sat on the throne. A king is not human. Human emotions would make it impossible to protect people. She kept to her oath, never wavering. She addressed the issues facing her nation. She worked on matters of political concern. She ruled without wavering, and she punished those deserving without error. And after winning so many battles, unifying so many clans and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur doesn't have a human heart. Whatever her knights and her entourage remembered this. Everyone must have felt the same way. The more perfectly she carried herself as a king, the more everyone questioned their monarch. There's no way someone devoid of human emotion can rule humans. Several reputable knights left the White Castle at Camelot, but the king accepted this as inevitable and incorporated it into her rule. And so the fair king, once so admired by her knights, began to isolate herself. Such trivialities were of no concern to the king. Even if she was deserted, feared, or betrayed, her heart would remain unchanged. It couldn't be helped. The moment she took that sword, she abandoned her emotions. And then her final battle began. The battle at Baden Hill ended in a complete victory, and that inescapable conclusion led to the savage clans finally offering peace. And so the nation that had been holding its breath, waiting to be destroyed, knew a moment of peace. The age of warfare, where a nation leaned on a singular hero, came to an end. Britain was finally going to become the nation she'd always dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. I realize the dream is ending and I'm about to wake up. I can find myself drifting closer to wakefulness, but before that happens, something really pissed me off. She's stupid. Oh, she's strong and a gift of fire, but there's a difference between being good at fighting and being cut out for it. The people around her pissed me off too. She didn't notice someone else around her should have told her she would go on making the same mistake forever. Sure, how the hell did she have so many people around her and not one told her the truth? I wake up. We escaped Illya's force and returned home yesterday afternoon. Tasaka went back to her room complaining her stomach hurt and my headache wasn't getting any better, so we all decided to just go to sleep. Must have been the extra weight I was lugging around. As soon as I got into bed, I couldn't get back up. Saber was the only one who seemed fine. Tasaka and I left her to guard the house while we slept. And then, I slept for half a day. At least my headache's gone. I'm relieved. The whole thing with Berserker, the headache I got after copying Saber's swords was unreal. If I had kept it up, my head might have well just split down the middle. Then I noticed. Huh? Saber sitting on the floor, right next to my head. Why are you glaring at me like the first thing in the morning? Did something happen while I was asleep? Hmm? Saber gets up and heads silently out of the room. What was that about? I don't know why Saber's acting strange. I'm not really sure, but if you're sitting by my bedside the whole time, why should you nursing me back to health? When I have that thought, the scene from last night comes back to me. What the hell am I? I shake my head and try to rid myself of those impure thoughts. I don't have my contact with Saber was entirely about my duties and mess, so if I don't rationalize something like that, I'll never be able to look at Saber again. Calm thoughts. We acted normal when we were coming home yesterday. That's all I needed to do. No, I was actually just tired yesterday, but I still need to act normal. Besides, Saber wouldn't like me acting like this. Okay, I just need to calm down and make breakfast. I take a deep breath and get changed. It's 9 in the morning. Saber hasn't eaten since lunch yesterday, so I must be hungry. 9 is so late. It's practically not even morning anymore. How fucking dare you? 9 is actually usually when I get out of bed. As hungry as Saber must be, I should probably make a hearty breakfast. Shirou. No, everyone's still asleep. Considering what happened yesterday, it's probably best to let them sleep. I'll leave the food up and they can eat whenever they like. I know, I feel better now, so let's head to the dojo once we finish eating. Why not? It's our daily routine. What's wrong, Saber? Did I say something weird? I see. You know what? You may be right. The common enemy we all share in Berserker is the gun. We teamed up to take on an enemy far stronger than us, and that's also why I trained so fiercely in such a short period of time. But I like to keep trying. I'm still an untrained mage, so I get to see the real you and we order swords. It makes it easier for me to talk to you too. Well, I say easy, but what I mean is I kind of enjoy it. You sure do. At least you don't hold back. I prefer it that way. Besides, I think you get to loosen up as well. Anyway, our routine has been us sparring in the mornings. Don't take the few pleasures I have. I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushroom, onion, and eggs. Are you making an omelet? All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil. Ooh, a Japanese omelet. She looks adorable. Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work. I can't quite hear what she's saying from the kitchen. I mix onions, panko, sake, eggs, salt with 400 grams of ground beef and pork and knead it all together. I decided to be bold today, so I'm making stewed Japanese-style hamburg steak for breakfast. Saber's voice drifts out from the living room. Saka? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook. Oh, she is not a morning person, like, at all. Saka comes in, looking grumpy, and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge. Where'd that grumpy face she'd been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now.
へえ、美味しそう。うん、ちょうどお腹も減ってたし、助かったわ。
That's so. Well, she's the one who gets to enjoy herself here, not me. In favor of my old man, he says, someone gains, someone else loses. I thought this before, but you got a keen eye.
あら、人並みに目端が利くだけよ。それじゃあ、私の分もよろしくね。
I'm reading the comments section for the mod that I was talking about, and there's just this one dude trying to argue, no, her name actually is Altria, and it's just like no one's like, it's like A, no one cares. B, it's not even the legal name, it's just the mandate. And C, it's not even historically, it's like, it's not even accurate. Like, Artoria could at least be seen as a feminized corruption of the name Artorias, which is where Arthur comes from. Altria is just not that. She whizzes as she heads back to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tasaka pops down at the tip. Seriously, I don't know what she gets off. I don't like Kingly Castle here at my house. Yeah, way to go, Saber. She's saying everything I wish I could. However... Sorry, I was taking a drink. I'm not drinking a Dr. Pepper. 11:30 at night. No. Saka dismisses Saber's criticisms nonchalantly by disagreeing with her. Well, to be fair, yeah. Caster. Oh, right. Archer died. Berserker died. Right. Oh, I should probably save that so I can find it later. For this block. No, I don't want to block it. I want to...
アーサー王の手にかかっちゃ、そんじゃそこらの英霊なんて10羽一からげでしょ。今までは魔力不足で嘆いてたけど、それも解決したし。今のセイバーに対抗できるサーバントなんて一人もいないわ。
Saber narrows her eyes at Tasaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tasaka said there just go by. Tasaka, do you know who Saber is?
うすうすね。確信が持てたのは昨日よ。あれだけの聖剣を扱える英雄なんて一人しかいないもの。まあ、伝説のアーサー王が女の子っていうのには驚いたけど、目の前にいるんじゃ信じるしかないじゃない。それに、伝説なんて都合よく改ざんされたものでしょ。セイバーが隠したのか、周囲が隠したのか知らないけど、確かに中世の王様が女の子ってのは都合が悪いもんね。そりゃ誰が何と言おうと男として扱うわよ。
Tasaka's tone remains the same. Saber at least doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she's agreed to Tasaka. She doesn't seem about to argue. She basically acknowledged the fact that here with the connection to sort of select to be a servant. Saber, based on that alone, she absolutely would make for the best Saber. The heroics will bring the real of her sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then what of it? Legendary of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. The swords usually end in death, but no hero dies a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle at the Great Battle of Camlan. After unifying Britain, supposedly having no more foreign enemies to defeat, King Arthur was drawn to conflict with an unexpected enemy in the end. It was the treachery of her own army. The knight she vowed to protect him fought alongside for so long that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle, and so trusted her only surviving knight Bedivere with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Travel across this bloody battlefield and over the hill, you will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. But Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implication of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported not once but twice that he had thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur once more ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill his king's wishes. It said that King Arthur died after making certain the sword had been returned.
りシロ、あんたこれからどうする気よ。
Sasaka suddenly turns to glare at me. What do you mean, plan to do?
だから和室で寝てる物騒な子供のことよ。放っておけって言ったのに、ここまで連れてきたのはあんたじゃない。
それについては私も言いたい。バーサーカーを失ったとはいえ、イリアスフィールは危険なマスターだ。それを保護するなど。
そうそう、あんなのは綺麗に預けちゃえばいいのよ。
I don't think I should do that. I don't. The two glare at me as one. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Illya fainted. She said no sign of waking up. I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back. Of course, the Sasaka and Saber rejected, so I carried her myself. A master who loses her servant either flees before another master kills them or is protected by the church. Sasaka says she used to let Kodamine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Illya, so I'm having her stay in one of our spare rooms. Thank you!
シロ、あなたの考えは立派ですが、イリアスフィールに関わるのは危険です。今ならまだ間に合う。早々に教会に預けるか、その霊樹を剥奪するべきだ。
Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Did she have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Illya's just a kid. She wasn't herself. I feel bad. I'd feel bad leaving her with Kodamine.
かわいそう。あんたね、あの子にあんな目に遭わされて、まだそんな寝ぼけたこと言うわけ？
同感です。シローはイリアスフィールに感情移入しすぎています。
Yes.
彼女は何度もシローを殺そうとしたではないですか。
But I lived. The two are more united than ever. Do not taught him Imperium? But I need to stand my ground. Illya was our enemy, but she never had any malice. But as long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters. I'm fighting to end the battle.
それは分かってはいますが。
Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But
そう。それじゃあイリアスフィールのしたことを全部許すっていうの？言っとくけど、あの子は私たち以外のマスターも襲っている。もしかしたらもう何人かマスターを殺しているかもしれない。それでもあなたは助けてやるっていうのね。
well, yeah, Illya admitted that she killed Shinji after I let him go. Shinji used right to try and kill everyone at school. If that's what she did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years. So you think! Thinking of Sakura, I can't just write off what Illya did. But that means there's no chance of closing. Even if Illya is no longer master, as long as she can reflect and feel remorse, I think we should save her.
そうね。それは正しい。
You may be right!
けどシロー、私はアーチャーのことを帳消しにする気はないの。私のアーチャーはあいつに殺されたんだから。
We're at an impasse here. We all freeze, staring at each other, but then...
何よ。サーバントなんて最後にはみんな消えちゃうじゃない。そんなこと気にしてるなんて。マスター失格ね。
At this point, Ilya's role in the story changes from the kid who's from the interminable bully to the very girl under discussion appears.
イリアスフィール。
待ちなさい。あなたたちに用はないわ。戦う気もないから、そんなに切り立たないでくれない？ほんと、同じレディーとして恥ずかしいわ。私よりずっと年上なのに、たしなみってものがないんだから。
Illya shrugs, looking disgusted.
なんですって？
Saber and Sakura once again sing. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them.
まあ、それも怒らないであげる。今はあなたたちに構ってる場合じゃないもの。
Sorry. It's not fun. Your protector. Big giant thing. Illya turns from them to face me. Illya?
礼を言います。セイバーのマスター。敵であった我が身まで気遣うその心遣い。心より感謝いたしますわ。
I stare at Illya in disbelief. So sudden is this that even Saber Sakura just keeps doing it, giving Illya the stink eye. And then Illya smiles that familiar smiles of her.
なんてね。やっぱりシロはお兄ちゃんだ。
She launches herself right at me and hugs me around the neck.
何者？
Chisaki spits out her milk. I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead.
離れなさい、この無礼者。
Saber rushes toward me. Illya twists around, swinging to my back.
無礼者はどっちよ。サーバントのくせに私に意見しようなんて100年早いわ。
あなたに従う義務もなければ意思もありません。減らず口を言う暇があるなら今すぐ城から離れなさい。
そんなの聞かないよーだ。ねえシロ、昨日みたいにしよう。あれ本部って言うんだよね。
Illya spins around. Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. That's an image I'm using. This is bad. What specifically is bad? Well, it's just bad. The two can't stop glaring at each other. They must be because Tasaki's watching from afar, but she just wipes the milk off her mouth as if nothing is happening and says,
どうでもいいんだけどね、二人とも。そのままだとそいつ死ぬわよ。 The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear my neck's getting wrenched around. I now face the greatest danger of my life. Okay, let's review the current situation. The hamburg steak I've been working so hard is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tasaki. He's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face. It looks like she's just going to watch things play out, but who could say what she might be thinking to herself? 何？シロ。
Illya's sitting next to me, and for some reason she looks like she's in a good mood. She's looking curiously around the living room, but it doesn't look like Saber or Tasaki are much concerned to her. Whatever either of them might say is likely to go in one ear and out the other. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about. Saber, she's glaring anxiously at both me and Illya. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. Feels like I'm resting on a bed of nails, so I can't leave things like this. I don't know what is gonna come of this, but I have to do something about the situation. Let's settle this. If we keep this up, it'll drag out until lunch.
そうね。結論は決まっているし、問題は早めに片付けた方がいいわ。そうでしょ、セイバー。
そうですね。私とリンの意見は同じですから、あとはシローに納得してもらうだけですが。
Saber's really digging her heels in.
ねえシロ、リンとセイバーは何を話したがってるの？
They want to talk about we should you lost your servants, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on.
そんなの決まってるでしょ。教会に保護させるか、森の城に追い返すのよ。どちらにしたってここにいさせる選択肢はないからね。シロもそう思ってるの？
Illya looks at me, her face emotionless. Oh. What was the thing? That's a great picture. No, that was the thing. There is a decision here, and I'm pretty sure there's a good decision and a decision that will end poorly for everyone involved. Yeah, no, actually, I think I'm... Because I have an inkling I'll know what will happen if I take Illya to the church. So she's saying, get it so go to me to protect, because I don't like seeing kids suffer. Kids, yes, kids. Yeah, well, I think Illya should see her. The Holy Grail War isn't over. I wanted to show her earlier until the last of the masters taken care of.
シロがそう言うんなら、私もここにいてあげるね。
Hey, Illya, if you're choking me, I can't breathe. I intend to pry Illya off me, but before I get a chance, Saber steps over and does it.
何よ、さっきから邪魔ばっかりして。あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？
当然でしょう。その身がシロウに何をしたか私は忘れることなどない。シロウもシロウです。イリアスフィールをかくまうなど百害あって一理なしとわからないのですか。
What about it? Illya doesn't have a servant anymore. She's not dangerous. She's no longer a master. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Lily's life would be in danger, and the other masters might gain power from her.
それはそうですが、しかし。
Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Illya if we leave her alone.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。セーバーを陥落したところ悪いけど、私はまだ説得されてないわ。いいシロ、そいつはまだマスターなのよ。サーバントを失っても霊樹がある限りマスターはマスターだって教えたでしょ。
She says that. Sokka just butts in while she sips her tea. What's that supposed to mean to Sokka?
だから霊樹さえ残っていればサーバントとは何人でも契約できるのよ。主のいないはぐれサーバントがいて、かつマスターにそのはぐれサーバントを許容できるキャパシティさえあれば何人とだって契約はできるわ。
What the heck? So if there's a capable master around, they can form contracts with as many servants as they want?
何人でもってわけじゃないわ。聖杯の力で呼び出せる英霊は7人が限度だから最大でも7人ね。
Sorry.
もっともどんなに優れた魔術師だって複数のサーバントを具現化させる魔力なんてないわ。あるとしてもその場合は10の魔力を5に分けて2人のサーバントを刺激することになる。そうなるとサーバントの能力は下がるから複数のサーバントと契約する旨味はないけどね。
I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserk, they would have had to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would drastically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep to one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that I mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant?
あら、珍しく勘がいいじゃない。
Oh, fuck you! Oh, okay, lady!
シローの言う通り、サーバントがマスターを変えるっていうのはそういうことよ。マスターを失ったサーバントは消えるまでいくらか猶予がある。で、その間に他にサーバントを欲しがっているマスターを探して契約すれば元通りってわけ。
だからリンに気を許しちゃダメよシロー。そいつだってまだマスターなんだから。シローを殺してセイバーを奪うかもしれないし、まだ生きてるサーバントと再契約するかもしれないわ。
そう、それはあんたにそっくりお返しするわ、イリア。
そんなことないもん。私、他のサーバントとなんて組まない。イリアのサーバントはずっとバーサーカーだけなんだから。
Sorry for that. I don't know what kind of relationship Illya and Berserker had, but I do know that Servant was special to her. That's a surprise, but at the same time it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that as Master Illya was relentless, she still cherished her part.
あ、でもシローが負けちゃったらセイバーは私がもらうわ。私はシロー以外のマスターが勝つのは認めない。
I mean, to be fair, both you and Yulin are already out of this, so.
もしシローが負けちゃったら私が代わりに勝ってあげるんだから。
Alright, let me try this again. Oh, wait. Oh well.
私はシローのサーバントです。あなたのサーバントになるつもりはありません。
別にそれでも構わないわ。私はシローに勝ってもらえればそれでいい。私が勝つのもセイバーがシローを守ってくれるのも どうせ最後は同じだもの。
Huh? What a weird thing to say. Actually, if she wants me to win, why would she think like that anyway? And then Sasaki must have found it strange. She starts to think.
私は構います。ともかく私は認めません。リン、あなたからもシロに忠告してください。
ごめんなさい、聞いてなかったわ。もう一度言って、セイブ。
ですからイリアスフィールをここにかくまうのは反対だということです。
ああ、それいいんじゃない？別にかくまうぐらいなら。は？
Saber freezes. I'd advocate for this, and even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock.
リン、あなた正気ですか？
No. Stop.
ええ、冷静に考えてみればリスクはどっちも同じなのよ。イリアを一人にするのもここでかくまうのも、教会に預けるのも変わらない。いえ、むしろイリア目当てでマスターが来てくれた方が助かるわ。
I have a specific stopping point. I want to stop.
今のセーバーなら他のサーバントが束になっても負けっこない。聖杯戦争を終わらせるならその方が手っ取り早いし、それはあなただって望むところでしょ、セイバー。
Like I said, I have a specific stopping point in mind for this. It's just we haven't gotten there yet.
あなたが他のサーバントに負けるって言うんなら話は変わるけど。
Confused on the book.
まさか今の私がどのような状態かリンなら分かっているでしょう。シローが私のマスターである限り私に敗北などありえません。
でしょ？ならイリアをかくまうのも問題ない。それに気になることもある。シローの選択はもしかしたらとんでもない妙手だったのかもしれないわ。
Yay, praise! Saka goes quiet. He must have convinced Saber. He takes a step back from Illya. Ooh, wait. Is this the... Alright, I'm gonna take the stopping point here because I'm pretty sure this is a scene change and this is where I want to end the video. Alright? With that being said, I will end this video here. I fucked up Milan. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.